everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something very interesting. We're going to be ranking the albums of Christian band Underoath. Well, I guess former Christian band Underoath, because I'm not going to go into the story, but no, for a lot of their biggest albums they were a Christian band, so I still consider this band a Christian band. But that's just my opinion. And we're starting with Act of Depression. And this album is going to okay. Um This is the best way I could phrase it for this album. Very all over the place and unfocused, but oddly kind of charming and cute. Like, my favorite track on here is A Love So Pure. My least favorite is Heart of Stone. It's all kind of all over the place and unfocused, but this really feels like a bunch of Christian kids just making a, like, metalcore, mathcore album, and they have no idea in hell what they're doing, but they're just trying their best, and it's oddly adorable. Not bad. The one track I would recommend checking out from here, though, is this A Love So Pure. Outside of that, you can mainly skip this one, but I don't know, there's at least one track on here that's pretty good. But next up, we have Cries of the Past. Now, I originally had this at good, but this got bumped down to okay. I do think this is a major improvement from the debut in almost every way possible. Like, The Last is a much more solid track, Giving Up Hurts the Most is a much more solid track, same with Walking Away, and I Dreamt of You is their longest track at 11 minutes and 24 seconds, and the title track is also really solid as well. This is a relatively solid album, honestly, and it's only 42 minutes and 52 seconds. The other one was like 55 minutes and 55 seconds, so they learned how to trim things down just a little bit and make it a little bit more focused. It's still a little all over the place, but it's still relatively pretty good. Oh, and this album has the original lead singer Dallas Taylor on it before they switched over to Spencer for When They're Only Chasing Safety, but we'll talk about my opinions on that album here in a little bit. But a relatively a relatively solid step up. I actually say this album is worth checking out. Next up, we have The Changing of Times, released in 2002. Oh, sorry. Act of Depression was released in 1999. Cries of the Past was released in 2000. The Changing of Times was released in 2002, and it is going to good. I think this is a good album. I rather enjoy the opening track, When the Sun Sleeps. Letting Go of Tonight is a good track as well. I also love A Message for Adrian and Never Meant to Break Your Heart. Those are all solid tracks. My personal favorites here, though, are The Changing of Times, Short of Daybreak, and Alone in December. Every track is solid on here, but the three tracks I would recommend you must hear are The Changing of Times, Short of Daybreak, and Alone in December. Good album, just not quite as good as the next two, and it kind of lays out the blueprint for the next one, at least in my opinion. But next up we have They're Only Chasing Safety, and this album is going to perfection. And this is the first album with Spencer on vocals. With Spencer Chamberlain on vocals, and what needs to be said about this album? This album's magnificent, from the opener of Young and Aspiring to the closer, Some Will Seek Forgiveness, Others Escape. Like, my two personal favorite tracks on here, and two tracks I must recommend you hear before you die, are It's Dangerous Business Walking Out Your Front Door and Down Set Go. I also love Reinventing Your Exit, The Impact of Reason, A Boy Brushed Red, Living in Black and White, Young and Aspiring. I don't feel very receptive today. I'm content with losing. Banger from beginning to end. It's like that perfect balance between metalcore and pop punk. I love it. 10 out of 10 album. And if that wasn't enough, we have the next album, Define the Great Line. This is also going to perfection, just slightly under They're Only Chasing Safety. banger opener with in regards to myself. I also love A Moment Suspended in Time. There Could Be Nothing After This. You're Ever So Inviting. I even love the weird instrumental Solomon Psalms? Mm. Returning Empty Handed is a banger. Casting Such a Thin Shadow is more of a melodic track until it builds up into where Spencer just screams in your face. I also love Moving for the Sake of Motion. Writing on the Walls is one of the most well known tracks and a total banger. Oh, I forgot again. Their Only Chasing Safety was released in 2004. Define the Great Line was released in 2006. Sorry about that. And a really strong closer with Tuum and Make a Serum, and Everyone Looks So Good From Here is just a heavy, heavy banger. Like, this is a like a fantastic album. This is worth hearing, especially if you're into that more like Christian metalcore scene. You know, like Norma Jean. I believe the band's name is Wolves at the Gate. Demon Hunter is also another band. If you like those bands, check out these two albums, The Only Chasing Safety and Define the Great Line. This was also released on Tooth and Nail Records as well and produced by Adam D of Killswitch Engage, so that automatically gets some extra points in, at least for me. But next up we have Lost in the Sound of Separation, released in 2008. This album is going to fantastic. A little bit of a step down, in my opinion, from the last two. There's still some good tracks on here, like the opener, Breathing in a New Mentality. I also like Emergency Broadcast, The End Is Near, and Desperate Times, Desperate Measures. All three of those tracks are bangers. Check those tracks out. The rest of it is still pretty fantastic, just not as good as the last two. Like, Anyone Can Dig a Hole, but it takes a real man to call it home. A Fault Line, A Fault of Mine. The Only Survivor was Vicariously Unarmed, and We Are the Involuntary and The Creative Void are all solid tracks. Same with The Closer, Desolate Earth, The End Is Here are all solid tracks. It's just not as solid as the last two, at least in my opinion. But next up, we have Disambiguation. This was released in 2010. And this album is going to... It's going to the top of good. Decent opener with In Division and Catching Myself, and Paper Lung and Illuminator. I also like Driftwood, A Divine Eradication. My personal favorite on here is Who Will Guard the Guardians. Driftwood is probably my least favorite on the album, though, now I'm thinking about it. Reversal is also solid, same with Vacant Mouth and My Deteriorating Incline and Incompletion. This is a bit of a step down from the last three, in my opinion, but it's still a relatively solid album. It feels like this feels kind of like a mid-tier Norma Jean album, if that makes sense. Kind of like the Anti-Mother or Death Rattle Sing for me. Like, it's still good. Maybe even on par with Pola Similar, honestly, now I'm thinking about it. It's still good, it's just not as good as their last three in particular. But next up, we have Erase Me. And this is going to be my hot take of the list. I think this is a great album. I, in particular, really love the opener. It Has to Start Somewhere. Rapture is also a solid track. All My Teeth is my personal favorite on here, though. That is a banger and a half. Wake Me is also solid. Same with Bloodlust. Sync With You is another personal favorite of mine. I also really love Hold Your Breath. I Hate It is a solid track as well. Same with No Frame, I Motion, I Gave Up. Like, trust me, there's some bangers on here. Like seriously, check out It Has to Start Somewhere, On My Teeth, and Sync With You, and Hold Your Breath. Like, seriously, check out those four tracks. Please and thank you. But it is a much more melodic album, honestly, and if you just want this band to be as heavy as possible, then I can get where there could be some complaints coming, but honestly, I don't mind a more melodic side, honestly. I kind of enjoy the melodic side, and this really does feel like something different, and I really appreciate them for just kind of taking chances and doing something different, especially after getting kicked out of Tooth and Nail. So I really appreciate that, honestly. But next up, we have Voyeurist, released in 2022. And sorry, Erase Me was released in 2017. Or sorry, no, it was released in 2018. Sorry about that. Erase Me was released in 2018. Disembiguration was released in 2010. Sorry about that. So, Disembiguration 2010, Erase Me 2018, and Voyeurist was released in 2022. And Voyeurist is going to the top of Fantastic. I love this album. Just a little short of my top two, honestly. Banger opener with Damn Excuses. Hallelujah is also a solid track. I also love I'm Pretty Sure I'm Out of Luck and Have No Friends. Cycle is a fantastic track featuring Ghostmane. I also love Thorn. No Oasis is a solid track, but like Hallelujah, it's weaker than the rest. I also love Take a Breath, We're All Gonna Die, Numb, and Phenomenon. Banger of an album, honestly, with only two tracks that aren't quite on the level of the rest. But this album is a banger and a half. Seriously, check out Voyeurist. But next up, we have The Place After This One. And this album, not as good as Voyeurist. I don't even think it's as good as Erase Me. I'm going to put it right under Erase Me at great. And this was released in 2025. Solid opener though with Generation No Surrender. Devil is a bit of a step down in my opinion. It's still good. It's just not as good as Generation No Surrender. Lost picks it back up though. Survivor's Guild kind of drops the ball again. All the Love Is Gone is also a decent track. And then There Was Nothing picks it back up, but then we drop it again with Teeth and Shame. We pick it back up with Spinning in Place. Then we drop it again with Vultures. Then we pick it back up with Cannibal. And then we kind of end on a solid note with Outsider. I do appreciate the experimentation on this album, but with like elements of like trip hop and rap and more melodic elements, but in the same vein, it's also just kind of all over the place and unfocused. Almost kind of reminds me of their debut in a weird way, except with more modern trends on it. This really does feel like they were trying to do like the combination, like Voyeurist felt like the combination of like Define the Great Line and Erase Me. This one kind of feels like Erase Me with like maybe like some semblance of like the changing of times in a weird way. It really does feel like a head on like a head in a direction where they just have no idea what they're doing and they're just trying to figure everything out. But I don't know, still a solid album overall though. Still a solid album. But that should do it. Tell me your favorite Underoath songs in the comments below. Tell me about my ranking. Tell me if I got it right. Tell me if I got it wrong. Tell me what your ranking would be. And if you like what you see here, feel free to drop a like and drop a subscribe. I usually post videos once a week. But that should do it. I hope all of you have a great day, a great weekend, and a great week. I'll see all of you next week. Take care, everyone.